Hello wrestling fans, I am Mud Puppet Joel, he is Mud Puppet Ryan, and we are the Mud Puppets, and this week we have, Phil Atlas giving a slap to Mike Marvel. We have the MPW Tag Team Champions Marvelous Action taking on the Canadian twosome, Tyson Dux and Phil Atlas. And Ryan, of course, joining us today, very special guest, a Mud Puppets luminary, it is Porthole Pete!
Arrgh! Back from a game of cornhole!
Porthole Pete, what an honor it is to have you calling this matchup with us here today.
It's been a long time since we've seen Porthole Pete.
Well, guys, I gotta be honest. I don't know how much calling I'm gonna do, but I'm certainly gonna be doing a lot of ass staring.
All right, Porthole. Let's settle down. The Marvel,
Pete, it might be a lifetime before we ever see you again.
Side headlock into the Dukes, takes him down to the mat there. Ryan, of course, Marvel and Action have been impressing a lot of people throughout the indie scenes of Michigan. But I have to say, I don't know if they've ever faced an opponent with the combined experience of Dukes and Phil Atlas.
Yeah, they're going up against guys who have a lot of international experience, guys who definitely know their way around the ring. And you're seeing it here right now, but Mike Marvel keeping up step for step.
This, of course, from May 18th. Bouncing off the walls in Wyandotte. And for those of you wondering, the next MPW show will be held at Rookies in Wyandotte, the old Don Polsky's. Johnny Badville's old stomping grounds, which he was reminded of on a recent episode of the PWL. That's July 19th, that's a Friday, 7:30 bell time on that one. Tag into Atlas there. Atlas and Jackson hooking up now, and a blatant spit to the face. Referee Corky Robinson, I think, needs to issue a little more of a stern warning than a little A.
If you were in there, Porthole Pete, what sort of rulings would you make as a referee?
Well, boys, I'm just gonna tell you right now. I don't know a whole lot about wrestling, but I do know a whole lot about manhandling. And let me tell you what, these are two very experienced manhandlers going at it right here. Right here.
All right.
You can see the Brillo pad in the one's head.
Okay.
I could think of a few uses for that.
That is Action Jackson. Right now, he and Phil Atlas trading punches. Back and forth they go. And I'll apologize in advance for anything that Porthole Pete may say.
Yeah, we want to make it clear that the opinions of Porthole Pete are those of Porthole Pete and not the Mud Puppets.
Dukes now into the ring. He's taking some punches. And where's Mike Marvel in all this? His teammate getting double teamed here. Don't say it, Porthole Pete. Atlas grabbing a fistful of hair. And Corky Robinson has got to restore some order here. Both teams in and out trading punches.
Yeah, this thing is falling apart here. The referee letting these guys run wild. And Marvelous Action, nice double set of kicks there.
Jackson and Atlas now in the rings. Dukes and Marvel from the outside. Marvel back in, and Marvel's Action now. They look to hit this patented move they like to do. Spring themselves out of the ring. Here they go. Marvel over the top, taking out Dukes. Of course, we saw in the recent episode of MPW Express the much talked about match between Marvelous Action and the Scumdogs, where Creep was injured, and all the questions that have arisen from that match.
Well, it's certainly shaken up the tag team division here in Metro Pro Wrestling. We don't know the status of the Scumdogs.
No.
Obviously, Creep out injured. We don't know what's going to happen with Paul Bowser and his relationship with Jonathan Presley. And the tag team champions, they're finding themselves here with sort of an untested entity to Gold, because this is a tag team we have not seen a lot in Metro Pro Wrestling. We've not seen these guys tag together very often, so it opens them up to facing an unfamiliar tag team strategy.
In fact, I believe the last time prior to this event that Phil Atlas was in an MPW ring, a nice jawbreaker there, was when he was actually facing off against Tyson Dux in that fatal four-way when Dukes was the MPW Cruiserweight champion. Andy Muscat, of course, walked away champion that night, that being last fall, so it's been some time. But Phil Atlas always brings it. He's got an edge to his game. Right here, Dukes and Jackson again trading punches.
There's nothing I enjoy more than a brutal four-way.
You got that one there, Porthole? Thank you very much.
Or something like that, yeah.
Porthole Pete is when you're not hearing him, he's just drinking straight rum from a bottle and just pounding it down.
The whip off the ropes. Like take down there. Marvel with the elbow drop. Nice teamwork by these two. Jackson puts him back to the mat. Now a quick pin here by Marvel. I think it's going to take more than that to keep down a veteran like Tyson Dux, and a kick out.
Joel, you have to wonder, sometimes in the wrestling business, when you're involved in a match, like that wild brawl that ended up with Creep being injured, that can affect the wrestler's psyche. You know, that can get into your head.
Sure.
You can begin to maybe doubt yourself a little bit as a result of that. What do you think that Marvelous Action have to do to keep those sort of doubts and worries out of their mind when they're in the ring?
I think as a competitor, you can't worry about those sorts of things. I don't think they enter your mind. The adrenaline's going. You're focused on your opponent. Nice DDT there by Marvel. And I haven't seen any signs of it so far, anyways. Atlas smartly breaking up the pin there.
And thus far, they've looked really good, and they've more than held their own here. They've actually, I would say, sort of dominated here. And it's kind of interesting to see that the tag team champions really doing well.
You know, some people have suggested, because some people have been surprised by the success of Marvelous Action, and a kick to the back there by Atlas. Nicely placed. Eats a fist for it, but it's going to give his teammate the opening. But some have put forth the theory that perhaps Marvelous Action, while perhaps a little undersized, but obviously young, they don't know any better. They don't know their limits, and therefore they have had success against guys like Dux and Atlas. And a trip there by Phil Atlas. Phil Atlas, I can give it to him. He picks the spots well.
Young and undersized.
Oh,
that's what I call an average Tuesday, my friend.
I'm sure that you do, Porthole.
It's a Tuesday.
He's a wild man.
Wait a minute. What's today again, boys?
Phil Atlas now.
I'm beginning to
wrist
feel
lock.
uncomfortable.
Oh, and a crude gesture flipping off Action Jackson with his partner's finger. And Phil Atlas, he definitely has a chip on his shoulder.
Yes, he does. And getting right in Action Jackson's face.
Picking Marvel up off the mat now. Driving a knee to his gut, knocking the wind right out of him. Very lackadaisical pin, just grinding that boot into his stomach, and does it again. And I don't think he's really even trying to get the pin there, Ryan.
This is about getting into the guy's head. This is about showing someone up, and this is Phil Atlas has no deficit when it comes to ego. That's for certain.
Always often showed contempt for the fans. Setting Marvel up here for a nicely executed suplex, and the veterans have certainly turned the tide now.
Yes, they have, and Mike Marvel is in trouble. They're keeping him in the ring. They're wearing him down, keeping him on their side of the ring now, which is a smart tag team strategy. Keep him as far away from his tag partner as you can.
Well, this is what veterans do. Cut the ring in half. Now Dux to have Marvel on the ropes in some trouble. Locks up his arm. Punch to the gut. Of course, Dux held the MPW Cruiserweight title for, what was it, 10 months, I believe, before finally dropping it in a fatal four-way.
He was quite the cruiser back in the day.
All right, I don't know that one's even supposed to be.
Porthole Pete is just...
Pin?
Forgive him, friends. He's not down with our lingo.
Porthole Pete is a horrible human being, and we apologize for bringing him into these studios today, folks.
Porthole, we haven't seen any of your pirate confessions lately. Are you out of stories to tell?
Well, boys, I mean, with all my extracurricular activity, my days behind the camera, I kind of relegate that to once a year, when I get into the studio, Mud Puppet Studio there,
Right, a lot of swashbuckling to be done.
All kinds of sword swallowing and swashbuckling going on.
Okay, alrighty. I didn't know that happened outside of the circuits.
I like the way you pronounce a sword, too.
Well, Dux and...
Pardon me, I'm on my second pint.
Dux and Atlas in firm control here now. Marvel is grounded. Atlas torquing that shoulder, now rolls him into a pin. 2 count. Marvel luckily gets the feet to the rope. If that pin had been in the center of the ring, I think things might have been over there for the tag team champs.
Very well could have been. And Mike Marvel finding himself in some real trouble here.
Well, Atlas, again, so many times though, we've seen Phil Atlas push the envelope with the attitude and now kissing the hand of a ringside fan. Yeah, I don't know that that's really focusing on the match. Applying pressure to the back of Mike Marvel, the back, shoulders really being worked over. Stomping on his stomach once again, stomping on his chest. Marvel is in desperate need of a pin here.
You see the look on her eyes? I think she was hoping to kiss something a little bit more than her hand.
Alright.
Looks like it's been quite some time since she's had a man in her life.
Okay, Porthole Pete. My goodness, who are you to come in here and make judgments on the fans of Metro Pro Wrestling?
Again, they're fans of Metro Pro Wrestling.
Okay. Alright, now it's getting personal.
That is just uncalled for. We apologize.
Into the ring post, and Marvel is taking a beating. And Ryan, you mentioned earlier that the Young Bucks were perhaps dominating, but the last 5 minutes has seen a complete reversal of fortunes, and Mike Marvel has been totally cut off from Action Jackson.
Well, that's what veteran wrestlers do. They sustain themselves through a storm of offense, and then they are able to come back and dominate, and we are seeing Mike Marvel paying the price for it right now. More stomps to that chest. This young man is taking quite a beating. He's got to make it to his partner and tag out if they want any chance of keeping those titles.
Again, stretching the shoulder, and now Atlas with like double drop kick right to the gut of Marvel. They are really working over that area of his body. You know, if you're Action Jackson here, you might want to consider just storming the ring, because right now I think your title reign is in serious jeopardy.
Yeah, I think it's getting to that point where that might be what you need to do. Action Jackson, though, trying to do the honorable thing, trying to stay on the ring apron and let his partner get to him.
Scoops him up and slams him down. Now applying more pressure.
We all know how much good being honorable brings you in the world of professional wrestling. Not a whole lot, Joel.
Hey, it's a cutthroat business. There's a lot of shady characters. Everybody's scratching for their piece of the pie.
Speaking of shady characters, although I don't know that he's ever scratching for a piece of pie, Porthole Pete, what do you think would be the key here for Marvelous Action to come back and win this match?
Well, boys, I gotta be honest, as I sit here and watch this, the only thing that I'm thinking is
Insecurity.
how those vertical stripes really are not helping out that referee right now. You see what I'm saying here?
That joke, no, that's usually my territory.
Yeah, that's usually what Joel does.
Finally makes the tag. Jackson comes in. He and Atlas going back and forth now. We'll see who's going to gain the advantage here. Jackson goes over. And, both forearms to each other's face. Jackson, though, with him. Side suplex, puts him down. 1, 2. Nearly got the 3 count. Atlas just kicked out.
Jackson spent a lot of time on the ring apron. He is fired up, but he's getting trapped in a bad spot here.
And again, they're trying to cut off the ring, but Jackson fighting out of it. I gotta say, I think it's an interesting position that Action Jackson's in, because he and Marvel, of course, are smaller. Their team is based on speed and agility, but he's clearly the bigger of the two, and I think often relied on is the muscle of the team, and it's got to be tough for a guy who isn't obviously a traditional big man to fill that role in the tag team. Oh! And Atlas with an enziguri that puts him down. Marvel and Dukes on the outside. Now Marvel climbing back in. A kick straight to the head. This could be it. Well, Marvel smartly breaks it up, and he's lucky he did not spend too much time on the outside with Dukes, or this thing could have been over. Well, the champs have been in peril a number of times, Ryan, but they've hung on so far.
That's been the hallmark of their title reign, Joel, is they get into tough situations, but they always fight back. They always find a way to win. Can they do it here against these veterans? A huge diamond cutter type move.
Out of nowhere.
The cover.
Dukes is there to break it up.
And this one is getting out of control. The referee, I don't even know who the legal men are in here.
You're seeing now, they're from Mike Marvel, moves that you don't usually see from these guys, and it's just a sign of desperation. Getting winded. Been in there a long time now. Approaching the 15-minute mark in this one. Something's got to give. Atlas with a senton there. And this one could go either way right now. Where's Action Jackson in all of this? Haven't seen him in a minute or so. He's up top of the drop kick to Phil Atlas. Sends him into the far turnbuckle.
Came out of absolutely nowhere to hit that, but he runs into some boots of his own. Tyson Dux now holding it.
Atlas off the top, drops a double axe handle. Oh! To a nasty belly-to-back suplex. Onto the apron goes Action Jackson.
Action Jackson hurt, he is down and in trouble, and that leaves Mike Marvel in a 2-on-1 situation.
Well, Marvel, surprising Atlas. I don't know if he was taunting a fan or trying to catch a breath. Smartly holds onto the ropes. Marvel down, ducks that kick, ducks that clothesline, and an ensarguri right in Atlas's head. Dukes is going to get in here now, and Corky Robinson, the official here, has got to regain some control here. As far as I know, that's a legal pin. Did not count. Dukes in there to break it up. Now throwing some chops at the chest of Mike Marvel. Whips him off the ropes. Misses that one. Ducks again. Spinning around into a DDT.
Beautiful move, absolutely wonderful, but here comes Phil Atlas.
Right on him, he's setting him up for his finish. A spinning punch. Leap over there, 1, 2, and 3, and the Young Bucks do it again. The MPW Tag Team Champions find a way once more. They pull this one off against two stellar veterans, Ryan.
An absolutely fantastic match, a big-time win for the Tag Team Champions.
Well, fans, as always, we're the Mud Puppets. We like to do some sketch comedy on YouTube. Our most recent, released last weekend, entitled Fat Ass Chairs.
They are chairs that can hold up even someone as big as Mud Puppet Ryan.
That is true. Porthole Pete, it was interesting having you here today.
Pleasure to be here, boys, and I'd just like to promote something I'm doing too. I'll be performing in between your mother's fat thighs every night of the week.
Porthole Pete, we know that is a lot.
But if you guys need that services, please give me a call.
Had you said your father's fat thighs, we may believe it. Well, fans, we will see you next time. Goodbye.